I want to ask you before we finish about the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
It was cold.
Freezing.
And you were sleeveless.
Hello.
I know. I believe someone on Twitter said you deserved a Tony Award just for that going sleeveless and doing that performance in the cold.
I have never been so cold in my life.
That was not the most surprising or controversial part of that performance.
Alas.
And there was a lot of attention on the girl kiss,
yes.
which was about the most G-rated chaste thing I've ever seen on television. And yet there were certain like demographics, I guess, that were upset about it.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it was an interesting moment. I feel like Izzy and I went into it just not even really thinking about it. It's just a part of the show we do. It's a part of the story we tell. To us, it is not a big deal. I grew up in a community where it was accepted and normalized and it wasn't an issue. And so I didn't even really think about it. And then we performed at the parade and we got off the stage and Twitter blew up, and it was interesting to see everyone's comments on it. But what was really amazing to me, and I feel like to a lot of us, was that for every message of hate and backlash we got 10 times the love and support and camaraderie, and having that come at you felt so special and just overwhelming, because I don't know, it made people see that on stage and see that it is normal and it is accepted and that there is a community that welcomes you and supports you.
I thought it also just the backlash in itself was just a message of how necessary this show is.
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
if there is anybody who's like, oh yeah, maybe I can see that 10 years ago happening. It's like, no, that it's still happening. This is a show about now. This is not a period piece.
It's not.
And if we needed proof that that's the case, that, it was so... I had the same thing as you. Like, as I was watching it, I was like, yay, the prom.
Yeah, not a big deal.
But then after I realized that, what's the line? We're liberal Democrats from Broadway.
Yes.
I'm one of those too.
Yep.
And it was good to be reminded how important a show like this and its messages are. So you guys had no preparation where they were like, look, this might be
There
a
was
thing.
some, like it definitely was talked about, and it was like, we're going to do this. There may be some backlash, but here we are. And
it seemed mostly, that it was...
No, you're fine.
Because we all had the same experience of, we did the rehearsal of it a couple of days before at night for the cameras. And it just sort of crossed, myself at least, it just crossed my mind while they were doing it. I was like, oh, wow, I'm so glad we're doing this. This is so great, a big way of getting this message out. And then our director, Casey Nicolau, who was there, was like, and they're going close up on the kids. It's so great there. And it was a great thing.
You know what occurs
talk about
to
living
me
in a bubble.
is your character is a guy who, and I don't think this really counts as a spoiler, but who never got to go to his prom.
Right.
And he ends up living vicariously through Emma a little bit and finding this pride. And I feel like there are kids at home who like are watching that kiss or who are seeing the coverage, maybe even like an interview like this, and they're feeling like, oh, that's what I never had, and that's what I needed. Or maybe even adults who never had it, who are like, times are changing.
Yes. Speaking of the stage door situation, I've just as many young people. I talked to people who are my age or even older who are so moved by that part of this character, especially his relationship with Caitlin's character, that they are Barry Glickman, and... Like, I had it easy in my life compared to them because of them, right? And they're so moved by the fact that a man of a certain age, gets to have that feeling of being asked to the prom. It's heavy. It kills me every night, 8 times a week. I'm not trying to make anything happen. It's happening to me right this second,